miss the conversation.
Cap and J Hood.
Tell your smart speaker to play ESPN 1000.
Cap and Hoodie.
Bop, 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 bop.
And listen to Cap and J Hood at home and in the office.
Now, back to more Cap and J Hood on Chicago's home for sports, ESPN 1000.
We'll get to more of your calls, but our guy Jesse Rogers saw Michael Kopech pitch yesterday for the White Sox. He was at Cubs camp chatting away with Chris Bryant. Are they cool? Because didn't Chris call Jesse out for an article? Remember? Clickbait, do better, blah, blah, blah. Jesse Rogers joins us now here on Cap J Hood on ESPN 1000. Jesse, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, guys.
You and Chris cool, or do you take a swing at you?
Yeah, you know what? When you have a little argument with a friend, maybe on the phone, and then when you see each other, you completely ignore it and you forget it. That was kind of it. It didn't come up. He was totally fine. We talked. Everyone, there were 4 or 5 of us talking to him, and then I talked to him for a few minutes. It did not come up. The off-season stupid, article about him saying he wasn't having as much fun, blah, 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 coming off that interview he did on Redline Radio. It did not come up, so we got past it apparently, or maybe it's suppressed and he's going to take a swipe at me later. I don't know.
Well, it's kind of like Charles Barkley saying that he was misquoted in his own autobiography.
Right.
Exactly.
So same difference, right?
Yes.
So,
yes. Can I tell you before we get to go back, one cool thing I watched yesterday, and I know, Cap, you've been out here a lot. You would have enjoyed this. There's no fans around the practice fields, only a few media, and we can walk up to kind of the fence, but there's an opening in the fence, so you're not looking through the fence. There's just, you can look right at the field. I'm hanging over the fence because it's a little bit lower and you can hang over it. And I'm just watching first team infield, and it's 3 of the guys that helped them win the World Series. First team only, no outfield. Marty Peavy, the AAA coach, is hitting these, and it was Brian at third, Baez at short, Nico Horner, who's joined that first team, at second, and Anthony Rizzo at first. And I'm just looking at him, and this is finally, we know this pretty much, the last time we're going to see those 3 guys together on the field this season for 4 months, whatever it is. And it was just cool, and it's just like, wow, time flies. These 3 helped them win the World Series 5 years ago, and I'm just seeing third to first, third to second, double play, second to first, just over and over and over, just like a Little League team would do. And it was just reminding me how great they were and still are, but how much time flies and how you just got to remember the good times because, it is probably going to be the last time for those 3 in the Cubs infield. We kind of know that.
As you were sitting there watching that, you were thinking to yourself, who's going to be here in 5 years?
Yeah, it's a great question. It really is. I still think it's going to be, and 5 years might be the tail end of the contract, certainly for Rizzo. And I still think Baez is going to be here. I'm going to stick to it. I think Rizzo and Baez return. They'll talk numbers this month. I don't see any momentum towards KB. We know Jed has stated he can't re-sign all 3. So if I'm right about Rizzo and Baez, then KB has to go by default by the words that Jed Hoyer has said. So I think this month, this is my prediction, I think this month Rizzo will get done. It's just my guess. And Baez at some point this season will get done. I don't necessarily think it'll be by opening day for Baez. I could be wrong. I do think something will get done with Rizzo unless one side or the other is completely unreasonable, and you would hope that's not the case in Rizzo's camp or the Cubs. Same thing goes with Baez, but Baez might take a little bit longer. Should be a little bit more complicated, I believe.
Jesse, Michael Kopech touched 99. He threw 9 pitches. That is not meaning he's ready to start Game 7 of the World Series and give you 128 pitches, but it's progress. He hasn't pitched in a major league game. It'll be 3 years in August. What did you see from him?
I didn't see triple digits, Cap, so I'm worried. No, I'm kidding. It's the first time out since last year, and you're right, he hasn't pitched in a real game since 18. He was dynamic. There was a buzz when he came to the game, even though there's a few thousand only in the stands. It was dynamic. He started the first hitter off at 98, then the next pitch was 87, the next pitch was 79. He went fastball, slider, curveball, got him on a ground out to third there. Then he started pumping fastballs, 97, 98. Yes, like you said, 99, back to 98. Strikes out a hitter looking with 98 on the corner. Fantastic. And I said to Waddle and Sylvie, I mean, enjoy this. You're not going to see starting type pitchers like Kopech and Crochet in the bullpen very long. And I asked Kopech afterwards, are you starting to feel a little bit more free in the sense that you can just let it fly for an inning, maybe 2 innings? You don't have to hold back. You don't have to set up hitters later in the game. And he said, yes, this is interesting. I mean, he could just maybe throw his fastball 1 inning, 10, 12 pitches, just pump it in there. He can get away with that as a reliever. So this is going to be an interesting situation with both Crochet and Kopech. But to see Kopech on the mound and look effortlessly, I'll give credit to Bruce Levine. He said it to him on the Zoom. It was an easy 98. It really was. So just think when he really hauls back and delivers it, it's going to go 102, 103, and it might look easy there too. So it was everything you'd want out of a first outing by Michael Kopech for sure.
That's a positive. I'm still wondering about Rodon as well as Ray Lopez and Dylan Cease. The first three in the starting rotation, as you know, Jesse, is solidified. I just wonder whether or not there's another gear in Cease or Rodon to kind of round out that rotation.
They're saying there is, especially Cease. There's been work done with Ethan Katz already. And they think one of his teammates, can't remember, maybe Lucas, said he's already taken another step on his fastball command because that was an issue at times last year. So I think it's a good point because those are question marks. I mean, I liked Lopez 2 years ago. I don't think anybody liked him last year. There were moments where you liked Cease, but then there were moments that you weren't. But that was kind of rookie situation for him. And Rodon wasn't very good. So I think it's a good point. There's no guarantee at 4 and 5 that you're going to have success until maybe Kopech slides in there. And I certainly see a situation where mid to late season, Kopech could be replacing one of those guys or being added to the starting staff if he's stretched out. And obviously his innings aren't going to be up there because of the new role. So those are all good points and things to watch early in the season. Who emerges at 4 and 5? I think Cease is legit. But he certainly has to show it. He has to be better than last year, Jay Hood.
So as you look at that White Sox team, I think they may have the best bullpen in baseball. As I went through the rosters yesterday, I'm like, hold on a second. Kopech's coming out of the pen. Garrett Crochet from the left side coming out of the pen. Aaron Bummer, they locked up on a long-term deal because he's a stud. Liam Hendricks is locked up for 4 years. Evan Marsh,
we're big guys, too. Right, Jesse? I mean, I haven't seen them in person, but they seem like they're 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
Crochet's like 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
Yeah, and that allows you to go 3 days in a row, little things like that, because you got it in you. I'm with you, Cap, and that's what I said to Waddle and Sylvie. It's like, look, you don't get starting potential guys like that coming out of the pen often, right? There's reasons Crochet and Kopech have to start in the pen, and that's fine, but the boost to that bullpen is amazing. Now, if they were 4 and 5 in your rotation and healthy, coming off healthy years and all that, well, that would be great too, because we wouldn't have this Cease and Rodon argument. But right now, certainly the strength of this team on the mound is in the bullpen. Not that they're not top heavy in the rotation, but when you look at that names from the 5th inning on, man, wow, Tony La Russa has so many to choose from, and it's just going to be fun to watch. It really is to see Kopech maybe comes in for 2, Crochet for 1, and you go to Liam Hendricks. Those 3 guys, after the starter comes out of the game, amazing. I mean, right now it could be, and it might be the best of the bullpen for the next few years, because when Crochet and or Kopech go in the rotation, well, that takes a little talent out of your bullpen. You got to try to replace that, but it's hard to replace those 2 guys, that's for sure.
Before we let you go, back to the Cubs for a second. The offense looks good. The starting pitching looks good. The kid that hit the walk-off grand slam yesterday, I don't think is in the mix to be a big contributor for the 2021 Cubs. But as you've watched this team now unfold, surprised, what you expected, disappointed? Where are you?
No, I think what I expected, because the thing that stood out the last few days, and I've only been here a few days, but I've watched everything back home, is the light throwing rotation. This defense, which was very good last year, I think they converted the most ground balls of any team into outs last year. this defense is going to have to be on its toes. They might strike out the least amount of batters, that they ever have. So you're going to need that infield defense. Like I was saying, earlier, they really practice it because they're going to need it. Zach Davies, light tossing, and Jake Arrieta is turning into that sort of older John Lester. A lot of contact, needs the defense. I think Arrieta is going to be like Lester in a lot of ways. There's going to be some good games, and then there's going to be some bad ones. There's going to be a lot of traffic on the base pass, but he's smart enough to work in and out of it. He did that in the start that I saw the other day. And real quick, to sum up on Chris Bryant, I think he's saying the right things. His mind's in a good place. He understands, where he is in the pecking order. He's got to sort of prove himself for the baseball world in terms of getting that next contract. He doesn't believe he's injury prone, and I don't disagree. If you look at it injury by injury, it is a lot of flukish stuff. I mean, are you injury prone if you're diving for a ball in left field and hurt your wrist? I mean, you're trying to help the team. So if you're sliding into third base and you twist an ankle, the one thing I'll say is, he's a tall, lanky guy, so things will happen to him maybe more than a short, compact guy. So maybe that body type has more of a chance to get injured. But I just think his mind's in the right place. He knows that this is very likely his last year. Not guaranteed. Joked about signing a 10-year deal and coming back as a coach. But I think in his heart, he kind of knows that, a lot of things could happen over the next 12 months. And so he's trying to take that relaxed, just control what you control attitude. So he sounds good. Let's see how he translates on the field. But, it's a good team, Cap, but there's just too many free agents that they have on this roster. And it's just not deep enough and good enough to compete with the Dodgers and the Braves and all these other guys. So July is going to be so interesting depending on where they are in the standings and what moves Jed makes.
Hey, man, have a great rest of your day, okay? Make sure you get Gordon to pick up a check for once.
That is a very good idea, Cap. I'm gonna tell him to do that tonight. Hey, it's the Cubs versus Tommy LaStelle. I'm going over to the Giants.
Oh, jeez. Here he goes.
Can you hand the phone to him right now?
Well, the problem is we're next to each other in masks. You know what I'm saying? So
wow.
All right, unbelievable.
Jesse, by the way, Jesse.
Yeah.
Do you eat the ends of the banana, the tips?
I actually do. I eat the whole banana. Yes.
Wow. Enjoy. You and Tom Brady have nothing in common, for sure. Have a great day.
Levels.
Have a great day. There he is, the great Jesse Rogers. Is Allen Robinson a loser? One friend of the show, an NFL insider, believes so. We'll tell you why next.
Take that.
Get social with our new morning show. Follow on Twitter @CapJHood.
Cap and J Hood.
Chicago's home for sports.
ESPN 1000.
So, yesterday was the final day to tag players. Now, we know the Bears are probably going to need a receiver. They tagged Allen Robinson. Kenny Golladay, Jeff Meller, he was not tagged, which surprised some people in the league. I know he only had 20 catches this year because he was injured. He's a local kid, went to Northern Illinois. He's a stud if and only if he could stay healthy.
Got a great catch radius. He is absolutely very talented.
Correct.
He led the league in touchdown receptions, not last year, but the year before that.
Correct. So, maybe that's a guy the Bears can target. Do you roll the dice that he can stay healthy? They did roll the dice 3 years ago for $42 million with a guy named Allen Robinson, and it worked out. Allen Robinson's been model teammate, model leader, and an awesome football player. And whether he's top 15 receivers, top 12 receivers, the point of the matter is he's a damn good player. Really good. And he got tagged for $18 million. Dan Graziano wrote about the winners and the losers. And obviously Dak Prescott, who would have gotten tagged, what was his number? 37.1, $38 million. Got his long-term money, 4-year deal. He's going to be like 31 when he hits the market again.
Sure.
And
there's still no rings, by the way.
No rings, that's correct. I don't think he's ever won a playoff game, has he?
No. I don't think he has. So, and by the way, that's no shot at Dak. That's the whole outfit with the Dallas Cowboys.
Correct.
I mean, he can do the best that he can, but again, when you put so much money in the running back spot,
right?
I mean, we have to have this conversation again about how you valued running backs in 2021. I mean, it was just like, oh my God, we got to just drop the cow on Ezekiel Elliott. We got to give him all the money.
Correct.
Everything. It's like, well, what about the wide receiver, your defense, or your offensive line?
So they traded for
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper from the then Oakland Raiders. Mm-hmm. Gave up a number 1 pick to get him, and they paid him big money. They paid Ezekiel big money. They got a really good offensive line. May not be as good as it was 2 years ago, but they still have a pretty talented.
That's a problem, though, because those guys are getting older and breaking down. Tyron Smith is no longer, the best left tackle in the league like he was 5 years ago. He's had a hard time staying healthy. Zach Martin has been banged up.
And they've paid those guys.
Yeah, and so they, even though the skill position players are now finally matching the great offensive line, the offensive line is in decline.
So the number 1 loser on Graziano's list on tag day, Allen Robinson, wide receiver, Chicago Bears. He's one of the best receivers in the league, but his career has been defined by the fact he has yet to play with a top-level quarterback. From his Blake Bortles days in Jacksonville to last year's Mitch Trubisky, Nick Foles seesaw in Chicago, he's been fighting for 50-50 balls, and that's no way to make a long-term living. Maybe the coming months will bring a change in long-term security, but right now the Bears tagged him, believing he'll be an asset to whoever they end up getting at quarterback. So do you think he was a loser in all this?
I don't know if I call him a loser. He just in an unfortunate circumstance that he didn't get a chance to get paid. He's your number 1 wide receiver now. But let's take a look at it with perspective, Cap, you and I, okay? Mm-hmm. And Meller and Danny. Let's take a look at this. So we talk about the running back spot, and we say the running back spot, the dime a dozen, you can get anybody. I still value the running game. I still think you got to run the football some to be able to have a decent offense, a percolating offense. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver spot. Allen Robinson's the best that the Bears have. Not to say that in the next couple of years that they won't find a rookie or even Mooney could develop, whatever. But would you rather have say, for instance, an offensive lineman, someone that's a stud offensive lineman, someone to replace Massey at right tackle, than a wide receiver? What's more valuable to you? A long-term wide receiver that you're going to pay for, or an offensive lineman that's going to be a stud for you for the next decade?
I need to fix my offensive line first and foremost, because it's the key to keep my quarterback clean, the key to being able to run the football.
If I said, well, obviously you'd say the quarterback is more valuable than the wide receiver. Bears need that like a hungry man needs a sandwich.
Correct.
For sure. Okay, so quarterbacks over, we got the offensive line. What about at strong safety? Could you, if you had a safety that was a stud that you know that you could depend on for the next 10 years, would you rather have that or Allen Robinson?
Allen Robinson.
Over a quality safety?
Yeah, because I have a quality free safety in Eddie Jackson. I have 2 quality corners in Kyle Fuller and Jalen Johnson. I think I'm pretty quality, especially with the return of Eddie Goldman up front, and on my rush ends in Mack and in Robert Quinn, even though he didn't have a good year. So I feel like I can scrimp a little bit there as long as I fix the O-line, get a second running back not named Cordero Patterson, and then obviously address quarterback.
Now, I'm asking you those questions, Cap, because we're just trying to figure out what is valuable to the Bears. You tagged Allen Robinson. Mm-hmm. You tagged him because you want him around at least for another year. And so, to me, I always look at it from this standpoint. I need to be able to have at least one stud wide receiver, one stud on the offensive line, a quarterback clearly, because that's something that you got to have. Got to have that guy. Not just a Band-Aid. You got to have that guy that you could depend on. It's like every year, we're getting better with that quarterback. We're developing that quarterback. We're accentuating the positives, hiding the negatives with that quarterback. I got to have a guy on defense. I need a stud guy, one in the secondary, one on the line, if nothing else, right?
Because you're going to lose Roy Robertson-Harris. He's going to get paid, and good for him. He's earned it. He's going to get paid in free agency. Akeem Hicks is getting older.
Yeah. I'm just asking, like, outside the quarterback, what do the Bears value? What are they?
It's got to go for me. Quarterback, right or left tackle, everything else.
What do you think of that, Jeff?
I would put edge rusher above the tackle.
Really?
Yeah.
To get after the quarterback instead of protecting.
Yeah, you need if you can get an elite edge rusher like Khalil Mack, that guy goes above the tackle.
But who's he playing ahead of? You just invested insane money in Mack and Quinn.
No. I'm saying I thought you were no. I mean, like, I want a guy like Mack. I was rating the positions. I see where
I'm taking the current roster. Isn't that what you asked me?
Yeah.
Current roster. What are my needs?
What are the priorities for the Bears?
Yeah. Quarterback is at the top of the list. I get it. Offensive line is second for me.
Okay.
I think that's probably right. I agree.
Agree?
Where's the wide receiver on that list? Fourth?
Well, we got Tyreek Hill coming, so
Exactly.
you already got Allen Robinson locked up.
Yeah, we got Darnell Mooney as Tyreek Hill.
Like,
right?
I feel like I can't even properly assess what they have on the roster until you get a capable quarterback. Sometimes you have better receivers on your roster. Like, listen, he's had his own issues, and I don't know if he'll be back, but Anthony Miller has talents. He's on the roster right now, as of right now.
Right, what you're saying is he goes to some other team where he's got, pick the guy, Tom Brady, and you go, who the hell's that guy? He was on our roster? Well, yeah, because we had Trubisky and Foles.
If they can fix the quarterback, if they find a way to get Russell Wilson in here somehow, some way, and all of a sudden Allen Robinson is on the franchise tag, Darnell Mooney, the next Tyreek Hill, is on the roster, and then you have Anthony Miller as well playing out of the slot at times as a third wide receiver, all of a sudden I'm not even concerned about the wide receivers.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out on the priority list, because they tag Robinson, how do they look at that particular spot on the field? Like, quarterback clearly is number one with a bullet, for sure. Now I'm wondering what else they're looking at, right? Because they say, well, we'll just tag Robinson, and we got Mooney, and we've got a tight end. And actually, quite frankly, if you take a look at the NFL now, the tight end for me, Cap, is as important or more so than the wide receiver. Look at the tight ends now. They're getting to the Super Bowl and playing at a high level. You'd want a Travis Kelce on your team when you not?
No doubt.
That's where we are now.
They should be in a lot of ways grouped with your receivers. Like, it's a separate position because of, depending on the system you run, the blocking responsibilities that they have. But the elite tight ends as pass catchers, they should be grouped in with receivers when you're thinking about your offense.
But that can't be a priority right now with Jimmy Graham and Cole Kmet, right?
No, I would think Cole Kmet, you drafted him last year.
Yeah. Just trying to figure out how the Bears prioritize their needs.
Right. Not
just for now, but in the very near future.
Right, because Kyle Pitts is not going to be there at 20.
No, he's a top 10 pick.
Correct.
Yeah, no, you're right, Hoodie. I think tackle has to be very high on the list, especially because they've cut ties with Massey.
Let's go to the phone lines real quick.
Go to Bob on the south side. Hey, Bob, what's up, man?
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Hey, Bob.
How you doing?
Hey, listen, I just wanted to call and say, I got to disagree a little bit with what Danny was saying. I think you've got to go offensive line, because what we saw in the Super Bowl was when you even have a great quarterback like Mahomes, he was basically running for his life because he had a subpar line. So that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I agree. Offensive line is a huge priority, but quarterback has to be number one. Bob, thanks, man.
And the truth is, had the Chiefs not lost 3 starting offensive linemen to injury, their line was okay. It
Correct.
wasn't until they hit the point of no return. And listen, you can invest all you want in your stud offensive line. If 3 of them go down during the year, and it happens to be at the inopportune time of right before the Super Bowl,
you're screwed.
It doesn't matter who your quarterback is. You're probably in bad shape, as evidenced by Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
We will get to more of your calls. 312-332-3776 and play shot or no shot. It's coming up next. Thanks, Bob.
Scratch your morning sports itch
This is Cap and Jay Hood, our new morning show.
on ESPN 1000 and the new ESPN Chicago app. Shot, no shot with Cap and J Hood on ESPN 1000 and the ESPN app.
That's why I say he married my shit.
Shot No Shot brought to you by PointsBet. PointsBet Sportsbook is here. Visit us at Hawthorne Racecourse. Experience Illinois' premium sportsbook. But first, download the PointsBet app. Get $100 in free bets when you deposit $20 with the code ESPN. Danny!
Gentlemen, the finalists for the 2021 Basketball Hall of Fame class were revealed yesterday. Some of the most notable names, Paul Pierce, Jayhawk, Chris Bosh, Chris Webber, Michael Cooper, Ben Wallace are among those finalists. The class will be unveiled May 16th. I ask you, gentlemen, shot or no shot? Zach LaVine is the best bet for the next Bull to be inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
He goes in as a Timberwolf.
Yeah. Wow. Derek's not going in.
Why not?
Joakim's not going in. Why not me?
I'm not going in. Why not me? MVP.
Not going to happen.
We sure he's not going in?
Derek Rose.
It's the Basketball Hall of Fame.
But what he did in college is erased, right?
It's a public toilet. Everybody gets in.
That it truly is.
No,
But
he played 1 year in college.
And that was erased because he cheated to get in.
All right.
Allegedly.
Adelman in? Adelman.
No.
Was he a Bull?
What'd you get out of there,
Well,
Danny?
answer the question.
I'm just trying to. If you let me just get my question out so I can get around to the Bulls. I'm getting there. Adelman? Don't look up Adelman. All right, forget it. He's got to take two.
No. He's not getting in. Rick Adelman?
Bosh?
No.
Yes, Chris Bosh is getting in. 100%, yes.
Michael Cooper? The great Laker teams?
Hanging with?
I'm going to say no.
WNBA coach?
No.
Champion, I believe. Tim Hardaway?
Yes.
Okay. Marcus Johnson?
Yes.
Paul Pierce?
Yes.
Bill
100%.
Russell? As a coach?
Bill.
As a coach?
Yes.
2 championships.
Correct.
To give him 13. As a coach?
Correct.
Ben Wallace?
No. Ben Wallace, a Hall of Famer.
You mean no?
Boy, are we watering down the hall.
Great rebounder.
The body. That's what they called him. The body.
Jay Wright?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you ask Chris Webber?
I did not ask. Oh, Chris Webber, yes.
Yes.
Broadcaster for a Frick Award.
I honestly don't know if you could water down the Hall of Fame.
Oh my God! And that in basketball for sure.
It is watered down beyond belief. I don't know if it could be watered down anymore.
Doug Collins?
Vlade Divac is a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, great Vlade Divac.
What?
Great.
Well, it's basketball. What he did in the world on the world stage.
That's my
Vlade.
point, though. Like,
Danny, I will say no shot to the question because I don't know the next Bull that's going to get in. Is there an old Bull we're missing?
Well, that's why I listed Zach, because there's no past Bull that I could possibly think of that's going to get in. So I'm trying to think future forward. And the only guy that might have a chance is Zach, right?
Otto Porter's not getting in.
No, he's not. He's going in as a Timberwolf. I'm telling you that. Like that's how Zach's got. I don't think there is anyone.
I think Danny's right. It'll be Zach LaVine if he gets there.
Billy Donovan wins a championship here.
Billy Donovan, well, if he wins a championship here,
Shot.
yeah, shot because he won 2 with Florida.
Should go in anyway.
He's going to probably go in anyway, right?
Yeah, that's a very good question as usual.
Very good.
All right, gentlemen, while we're on the Bulls, they begin the second half of their season tomorrow against the 76ers. Lauri Markkanen has missed the last 13 games with the right shoulder. The Bulls have gone 8-5 without him. I ask you, shot or no shot, this Chicago Bulls team is better without Lauri.
Yeah, no shot. To have a 7-1 guy who might return tomorrow, we'll see how they start to play, who could step out on the floor, who's being utilized in a much more effective way by Billy Donovan than he was by Jim Boylan. Yes, they are a better team. So no shot on your question.
Shot. I wouldn't know. I haven't seen enough of games to know whether or not he fits into what Billy wants. I know who does fit. Thaddeus Young.
Yep.
Older veteran, but just knows where to be on the floor. You'd love to coach him.
He would be awesome to coach.
Just he knows the spacing. This is how much space I need to rebound. Here's where I got to be for my rebounding effort. Here I can be able to give you 15 and in.
He's
as far
just
as
a
shooting the
winning
basketball.
type player.
Right. He does the fundamental things that you like.
No question. A great leader.
He does it better than Lauri does. Except Lauri can step out.
Correct.
And knock down the. But I haven't seen it enough consistently. That's going to be a big question at the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how he plays now that he's coming back.
Just stay healthy so we can see.
Exactly. Be on the floor.
The more players, the better, right, Cap?
Exactly. You got depth then. Danny.
Gentlemen, it feels like baseball weather. Let's talk some baseball. For the second time in 2 weeks, Chris Bryant credited Cubs president Jed Hoyer for dealing with him honestly about the possibility of being traded. Quote, not saying that I deserve any of it, but it's just really nice to hear the guy in charge eases my mind a little bit. Because at the end of the day, I'm human, and I hear some of the things all out there are rumors. So I ask you guys, shot or no shot, the relationship between Theo and Chris Bryant was a lot rockier than we know.
Shot.
Frosty.
Shot. Because I think, in fact, I know that there was an offer made, and it, for whatever reason, Scott got involved, Boris. It didn't get accepted when they thought it was going to get accepted. And, yeah, I think it absolutely, I don't think it was frosty, but I don't think it was where it needed to be.
That's an absolute shot. It's too bad, too. But then again, maybe that's going to be the Cubs game. That's a topic for later on here in the season. Danny, when we take a look at Chris Bryant, like by the deadline, will he still be around? Will he be here for the entire season? It's too bad because I thought he'd be a cornerstone for the franchise forever. I thought he was that difference maker of a player, Chris Bryant. But
he's a great guy.
Henry Bibby?
No shot.
All right.
Henry Bibby. Rick Adelman. I mean, stop.
Kurt Gowdy?
Shot.
Del Harris?
No shot.
All right.
Danny.
Gentlemen, Elizabeth Banks, the actress, I'm sure you guys know who she is. She's been slated to direct Cocaine Bear. It's a story inspired by events that took place in Kentucky in 1985. It's a true story.
Cocaine Bear. I thought it was a Sam Hurd story.
Bears.
Cocaine Bear. That's a good one,
85
Cap.
Bears.
That's a funny one, Cap. So in 1985,
That's a funny one, Cap.
the New York Times wrote a story about a 175-pound black bear that consumed the contents of a duffel bag that was filled with more than 70 pounds of cocaine.
Well, let me just tell you that I've got a letter from someone that said one of my bears was doing cocaine. They said, Dear George, I think some of your bears are on cocaine. And I replied, Dear Bill, I'm not selling the team. Go Bears. George. Put a stamp on it, and I sent it out to the post office. No Coke Bears.
Danny.
So an airplane was flying over Kentucky. A drug smuggler dropped a bag of cocaine out of the window, 70 pounds of cocaine. The bear found it, snorted it, was later found dead of an overdose. Elizabeth Banks is going to direct this. She says it's quote-unquote going to be a thriller. I ask you, shot or no shot? It sounds more like a comedy.
A thriller.
A thriller.
Wait a minute. So, like on the Netflix, they show you the description of what the movies are. Is that really a thriller? A bear on coke?
Bear ingests 70 pounds of cocaine. Thriller.
Thriller?
She says it's a thriller, not
About
a comedy.
an hour in, I don't think he would have agreed.
I agree with that.
Oh, God, my heart feels like it could jump to Hawaii from here.
I think she needs to find a way to weave in the Super Bowl shuffle into this soundtrack somehow, some way.
So great.
That's not a thriller. That's really funny, actually.
Wow. She should consult with Tom Waddle. He was a member of the 85 Bears. He could give her some insights.
You know, I saw Tommy the other day. They ran one of his highlights on SportsCenter. Yes. Because Boston College hit this dramatic shot in the Big East tournament.
Oh, okay.
Or the ACC tournament.
Great moments in Boston College history.
And they went back and showed Waddle catching Flutie's Hail Mary. It was very cool. I'm like, I know that guy. I urinated in the fountain in front of his house. Danny.
Marty Glickman?
100%.
Why?
I saw him at Ravinia recently.
I figured that. I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Marty Glickman.
Yeah. Danny.
Gentlemen, as a result of the pandemic and many Zoom calls, survey says that men across the U.S. are turning to skincare and makeup products like moisturizer, concealer, beard filler, to get rid of redness, wrinkles, blemishes, bags under their eyes. So I ask you guys, shot or no shot? You would ever be so consumed with your looks and appearance on a Zoom call, you would go to these lengths?
All I do is put it on my hands because my hands are awful. Absolutely awful. Dry. I have dry skin always.
Yes.
And that very nice lady, Deb from Little Rock, sent us that stuff, and it's the best. And that's it. But makeup on a Zoom call? No, I had to wear it when I was at TV, and they sprayed it on, and that was a pain.
Wow.
Yeah, no shot.
Well, Sherwin-Williams came in, huh?
Pretty much. Hey, with Waddle, they have to spackle it out.
I mean, why a shot at Waddle?
I used his line. He always says that. He was the goalie for the Boston College dart team. He's America's sweetheart.
Nonetheless,
bad complexion.
It's fun when you make fun of Sylvie. It's fun when you make fun of Black and Abdallah. When you make fun of Waddle, it goes too far.
Okay. He's America's sweetheart.
I would say no shot, especially a Zoom call, man. The lighting, that ring lighting, it takes care of everything, right? You don't necessarily have to have, you don't need makeup for that.
Does your wife, because she's on a lot of Zoom calls, does she do herself up like she's going out when she goes on the Zoom calls?
Sometimes. She doesn't like to get on camera either, though, sometimes. But, yeah.
Turn the video off.
Turn the video off, but when she does.
Michelle Hood there, right here.
She's like, oh, I was going to take off the bonnet.
Yeah.
Take off everything. Just like, no, sometimes she'll put on something, look like she's going on. I'm like, you don't need to do the boots and the pants, too. I mean, come on. You don't need all that. It's just a Zoom call.
Right.
No, not for a Zoom call. No, I don't think I would do that. And as a matter of fact, I know I wouldn't. You?
Really?
Ask this white guy I know. Get the moisturizer out. Like you're at church.
That's it.
Like you're at the Baptist church. I need some moisturizer. Like, you got all that moisturizer going.
Hit me some of that.
Thank you. Hands get ashy. Like, why do you? I've never seen it. I don't need it. But you need it 2 or 3 times a day.
Oh, God.
That's strange.
Driest skin in America.
You never a little concealer, Cap. You're being honest with us right now.
No, I don't.
Not a touch, a little foundation. Never even a little bit.
I don't even own foundation. I think the only thing I have is a little Mac Studio Fix.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And I don't use that. I haven't used it. I don't use it.
I do.
So.
Thou protesteth too much.
No shot.
All right, I got you.
No shot. 99.9% of the times I'm hosting on Zoom, I'm in a freaking hoodie. I'm not putting makeup on.
Right.
No shot.
That would look kind of weird, right?
Yeah, it would. Well, he's all made up. Why is he wearing a Adidas hoodie?
Yeah.
So.
Good point.
312-332-3776. Calls. Next.
How about a little Dino Raja? What about him?
No shot.
Hall of Fame? No.
Cap and J Hood. Mornings.
ESPN 1000 and the ESPN Chicago app.
All right, rock and roll. Let's cut through these calls. Some have been holding since yesterday.
Yes.
But let's start with Jeff in Waukegan. Hey, Jeff, what's up, man?
Yeah, I just, first of all, a long-time listener to the station, and in all honesty, I don't understand why you're not creaming the other guys in the ratings yet. I assume that's going to happen.
Appreciate you.
What other guys, Jeff?
The 670 guys.
Stern. He's talking about Stern.
Well, here's the thing. We're just here every day. You can help us cream them if you care to. Just keep listening.
We appreciate
I listen all
you.
the time, Tal. Anyway, I just want to make a correction because nobody likes to get the bad information out on the air.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom Waddle did not catch Flutie's miracle pass that beat Miami. The guy's name was Phelan, Brian Phelan.
No, that is completely inaccurate. Tom has talked eloquently. In fact, Meller was part of that afternoon show. Tom talked about the play call. Tom talked everything about that. What went into that catch that. You didn't even know that he was held at the line of scrimmage. He shrugged that off and found a way to get down the field. Come on, Jeff. You're better than that. You're a P1.
Okay. All I need you to do then is get one of your producers just to watch the video because obviously it's online. I know I've seen it several times because Flutie, he was a Bear, so I'm an old guy. But anyway, I'll keep listening and I'll watch the tape again. But I don't think it was Waddle.
Yeah, it was definitely Tom. But we appreciate you.
Yes.
Yeah. Come on.
It's like the greatest highlight of his career.
Correct.
In football.
Correct.
It's unbelievable.
The only other highlight he said that rivaled that was that 46-yard catch he made in the Super Bowl in after the 85 season.
Absolutely.
Correct.
You can't be a P1 of the station and not know Waddle telling those stories.
Correct.
So, I mean...
Like, why do you think he's hosting the afternoon show? You don't just give out afternoon shows to pedestrian bears who played 6 seasons and didn't have, like, a career highlight achievement.
Right, or
in
Kenny
college.
Marjoram would be on.
Absolutely. Kaz.
But, yeah, there's been a number of pedestrian bears that have hosted shows around here. There's no question about that.
Let's go to Trevon up in Stager. Or Stagger. Hey, Trevon, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? I called a little bit earlier when you guys were talking about the food quirks. I got one for you guys. Mm-hmm. All right, so everyone likes fries and ketchup. No one seems to like plain potato chips and ketchup. How you guys feel about that?
That's an odd thing. Are you pregnant, Trevon?
I'm not.
Okay, because that might be an aphrodisiac. You need that, at 12 o'clock at night. You need that. Is that one of your cravings?
All right, he's gone.
I mean, that is a weird
You
combo.
offended the man.
No, it's a weird combo, is it not? Potato chips and ketchup?
I thought it actually sounded good.
How?
You put French fries in ketchup, right? Potato chips are basically the same thing.
We turn to Danny Zetterman for the health ramifications.
It's not good for you.
Okay.
First of all,
damn, not good for you. Do you ever put ketchup on scrambled eggs?
yes.
I have not.
That's a Harry Zetterman special or a Sven Zetterman special. Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious.
And I have a ketchup that Danny actually turned me on to called Primal Kitchen. It's a healthy ketchup. It's still delicious on the eggs. Delicious.
Never done that.
And I've also done mustard on the eggs.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do that today. I think I might cook up some eggs with avocado and some Dijon mustard on it. Oh,
Mustard on your eggs. Wow.
Yes.
R.I.P. to your toilet.
not a problem at all.
Your toilet doesn't have a problem?
No.
I know that you get lonely. Do you talk to your toilet?
I do.
What's up, buddy? Gotta sit
pal.
down. Hey, pal.
Let's have a talk. Stones in Huntley. Hey, Stones, what's going on, man? How are you?
Mike Keister.
Oh, where is he? Stones, where'd he go? He's gone. Oh, well.
The only talk show host that needs an operator to go to the phones.
Exactly.
You need Sarah to patch it in for you?
Patch in Stones, would you please? Wow.
Why'd you cut him off? Well, we have to go anyway.
All right, we will take a quick time out to crosstalk with Carmen and Yurko. Is Stones there?
No,
exactly.
No, he's telling you 2 minutes we were coming back.
You guys pissed everyone off with this Tom Waddle thing. People keep insisting on the phones it wasn't him.
Well, to tell those people that they better get with the program. It was.